What we see on this particular occasion was an attempt on a mayor of a particular district in the Philippines who has been subject to previous assassination attempts, coming back from an early morning market to his home, as it's believed, in both the Toyota Land Cruiser that he was and his security team were contained within, and a follow-up security vehicle when they were ambushed in the middle of what would appear to be a town area. What we see from the footage that has been released and has been captured of this assassination attempt was that there was a small armed group that were contained within a small minivan. Two of the particular assassins deployed or debussed from this vehicle, one carrying a RPG or rocket-propelled grenade and the other an AK-47. Now, in the Philippines, gaining access to these types of weapons isn't entirely impossible. They can be obtained. And an RPG we've seen very, very successfully in the past being utilized in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, and other conflict zones, particularly when it's being used against a vehicle, and is one of the most effective ways, particularly against an unarmed vehicle, to trying to demobilize or immobilize it to prevent it being able to move. Now, my speculation would be that this team, particularly at the point that they carried out their attack, were already carrying out surveillance, possibly even knew the pattern of life of the mayor to deploy or to launch their assassination attempt at this particular junction. But what they may have been seeking to do, and again, this is my speculation, was to render the vehicle immobile with the RPG, possibly even cause harm to some of the security team, whilst other members of the attacking team would then deploy to try and complete their operation. Joining the dots as to how these kinds of situations come about, how they're executed or implemented, I would say this was a sophisticated level of attack. This would no doubt have involved some advanced reconnaissance prior to the attack. There would have been some considerations as to what opposition the attack or attackers would have been up against. From having operated in conflict zones myself, I know that more often than not, it is not just the planning of the security team and their management of threats should they present themselves, but fundamentally it can come down to the protection that is afforded to you and to the principal. And in this instances, I would say that there were two elements which stood in the mayor's favor. The first of which was obviously the armoring of the vehicle and the fact that it was protected against attacks and armored accordingly. And secondly was the driver's training, because what we see from the footage that is available is that the driver doesn't wait or stop or freeze. He continues to drive, which is the most important thing, and that is to get your principal off the X. There are two elements to perhaps consider here. Is there a failure in intelligence, or is it the capability and the credentials of his security team that allowed the mayor to survive? And I would say it's very likely to be a combination of the two. Firstly, any good and very well qualified and experienced protection team should be, as a matter of course, carrying out hostile surveillance detection, i.e. the kind of reconnaissance that would lead up to an attack like this and allow the attackers to plan their operation and where they will intend to carry out their attack. The second element is, yes, the security team may have failed in that instance, but there may also be limited intelligence. But again, running human source intelligence in the region is very important to know who the threat is that could present itself, be their capability, and see their access to what sort of armaments, weapons, explosives that could be introduced into an assassination attempt like this. But what appears to be the case is there must be a stalemate in the negotiations or discussions with the four Muslim groups disputing territory, who are believed to be the ones behind this, that this is at an impasse. And this may drive the mayor to trying to come to some resolve on the matter and conclude it as quickly as possible, because if he doesn't, the threat will continue to prevail. This particular mayor, Mayor Ampatuan, has had 3 previous assassination attempts carried out against him, starting in 2010. And what we believe is the particular reasons or motivations behind these attempts has been 4 separate Muslim clans that have been disputing their rights over certain territories. which Mayor Ampatuan has been a deciding factor in who those territories are going to be allocated to, or has rights to those territories. So as a direct result, and certainly since his first assassination attempt back in 2010, his security team have obviously been enhanced and they've been increased because obviously the threat remained prevalent. But what we've also noticed is that the vehicle that he was traveling in was not only a pretty robust 4x4 Toyota Land Cruiser, but it was an armored version of this vehicle, which to a certain extent should be resilient against a number of major calibers of parabellum. But in this particular instance, the threat group, or the assassins, certainly sought to try and achieve their aim by firing a rocket-propelled grenade, or an RPG as we otherwise know it.